Hi there. Real quick before we jump into the episode. If you enjoy this episode, or any of the other episodes, be sure to give us a follow or subscribe. It would also be great if you shared it with a friend, or better yet, left a review so others can know how awesome it is. Thanks so much. And now, the episode.
Hey there, Press Starters, and welcome to the Press Start Leadership Podcast, the podcast about game-changing leadership, teaching you how to get the most out of your product and development team and become the leader you were meant to be. Leadership coaching and training for the international game industry professional. Now, let me introduce you to your host, the man, the myth, the legend, Christopher Mifsud.
Hey there, Press Starters, and welcome back to another awesome edition of the Press Start Leadership Podcast. On this week's episode, we'll be discussing from one sheet to pitch deck and beyond, building game pitches that land deals. A practical guide for game developers to create effective pitch materials, align teams, and secure publisher or investor support. Game development is hard enough, but turning a brilliant idea into a viable pitch that excites publishers, investors, and collaborators, that's an entirely different beast. For indie game developers and studio heads navigating the business side of game production, creating compelling pitch materials is not just a nicety, it's survival. And it all starts with a single page. This podcast explores how to move from a concise one sheet to a comprehensive pitch deck, and how that journey sets the foundation for your game design document, production schedule, and ultimately, your success. Whether you're building your first pitch or refining your fifth, these principles and steps will help you level up your pitching process. Why every game pitch starts with a one sheet. A one sheet, also called a one-pager, is the foundation of your pitch ecosystem. It's not just a summary, it's a distillation of your vision into something so tight and so clear that anyone can grasp the essence of your game in 30 seconds or less. That clarity isn't just helpful for external communication. It becomes the North Star for internal decision-making, team alignment, and scope control. A strong one sheet helps you clarify your vision, align your team, capture attention from investors or publishers, build confidence in your project's direction. What goes into a great one sheet? At its core, a one sheet includes 5 essential ingredients. The game title. Obvious, but essential. This is your brand name. Make it memorable. The elevator pitch, a quick, vivid 1 to 2 sentence hook. Overview, a more detailed paragraph explaining the premise, tone, gameplay, and core narrative. Key features or selling points, bullet pointed highlights of your game's innovations or most appealing elements. And 5 is optional visuals, concept art, a logo, or in-game shots if you have them. These help the pitch stick in people's minds. Let's unpack each of these and build up your materials from there. Crafting the elevator pitch. Clarity meets creativity. Your elevator pitch is the nucleus of every other pitch element. It's the single most important line you'll write because it's the one people are most likely to repeat. Think of it like this. If someone meets you at GDC or Gamescom and asks, "What's your game about?" This is your answer. A template that works. A reliable formula looks something like, game name is a genre that combines popular title A and popular title B, with a unique twist of insert twist here in a descriptive setting. This gives your audience immediate familiarity while pointing to what makes your project distinct. For example, Shadow City Mysteries is a clockwork noir narrative adventure game that is Blade Runner by way of Lovecraft Country, set in Frank Miller's Sin City with a new game plus twist. When done well, an elevator pitch ignites curiosity. It creates context and gives people a compelling reason to ask, "Tell me more." Defining features and selling points. Your game's value proposition. Once you've hooked your audience, they'll want to know what makes your game worth investing in time, money, or both. Use bullet points to showcase unique gameplay mechanics, player experience highlights, narrative or visual style, expandability or transmedia potential, anything that makes your game stand out. Example, Shadow City Mysteries. Narrative adventure game with investigative gameplay. Explore the mystery as a detective, interrogating suspects, scanning crime scenes, and uncovering hidden connections. 6 unique origins. Choose from high society, underworld, union worker, entertainer, church, or cult backgrounds, each shaping your investigation style. New story plus with a twist. Each replay reveals new layers of the story, culminating in a conspiracy and supernatural thriller arc. A new IP with expansion potential. Build a franchise from the ground up with cross-platform storytelling potential in TTRPGs, comics, and games. Bullet points should be succinct and readable at a glance. If you're using a deck or document, avoid walls of text. Visual separation matters. The overview, context, genre, and emotional hook. Your overview is a short paragraph that expands on your pitch. Think of it like the blurb on the back of a novel. It should answer 3 things. What is the story or core experience? What is the gameplay loop? Why will players care? Example overview. Shadow City Mysteries is a narrative adventure where players take on the role of a washed-up detective in a city riddled with secrets. As they investigate crimes, unravel conspiracies, and uncover supernatural forces. Each playthrough deepens the mystery. With a branching structure, dynamic skill systems, and a stylized noir aesthetic, Shadow City Mysteries offers a replayable, emotionally driven experience unlike anything else on the market. Be vivid. Appeal to emotions. Show what players will feel, not just what they will do. Putting it all together, the one-sheet blueprint. Now that we've broken down the parts, here's a checklist to build your one sheet. Logo and game title. Elevator pitch. Short game overview. 3 to 6 bullet point features. Optional visuals or screenshots. Contact info or studio branding in the footer. Export your one sheet as a PDF or image. Keep it short, 1 page, but make every word count. Evolving your one sheet into a pitch deck. Once your one-pager is polished and ready, you can expand it into a full pitch deck. Many components will stay the same, but now you have the space to elaborate. Here's how your one-sheet components map to a longer deck. One-sheet element corresponding deck slides. The game title. The title slide. The elevator pitch. The intro or vision slide. Your overview. Narrative slide. Gameplay loop slide. Bullet point features. Multiple slides. Each key feature gets its own. Optional visuals. Art style slide. Mood board or screenshots. Building the deck slide by slide. Title slide. Game name, studio name logo, and tagline. Vision slide. Elevator pitch and high-level vision. Overview slide. A short version of the game overview. Gameplay slides. Core mechanics, gameplay loop, and progression systems. Feature slides. 1 slide per major feature or mechanic with visuals and talking points. Visual style slide. A mood board, key art, sample UI. Team slide. Brief bios and credits of core team members. Business slide, if needed. Monetization, marketing, or platform plans. Each slide should tell a story progressively leading your viewer from interesting to I want in. Turning a pitch deck into a game design document, also known as a GDD. Once you've secured interest or funding, or even before, you'll need to flesh out your concept into a full game design document. This is where you translate vision into implementation. A pitch deck is a storytelling tool. A GDD is a blueprint for building. But the good news is your pitch deck already contains much of what you'll need. So here's how the pitch deck maps into the structure of a full GDD. The pitch deck slide. Overview, elevator pitch. In your GDD section, it's the introduction and project summary. Gameplay loop. Game systems and core mechanics. Key features. Feature breakdown and gameplay modules. Art style / mood board. Visual direction and asset guidelines. Narrative slide. Story, characters, and world building. Team slide. Team composition and roles. Timeline and production plan. Milestones, tasks, and budgeting. Key elements of a game design document. A solid GDD should include a high-level overview. What kind of game are you making? Who is it for? Core gameplay loop. What do players do repeatedly and why? Progression systems. How does the game grow in complexity? UI and UX guidelines. What does the player see and how do they interact with the world? Story and setting. What is the narrative arc? Who are the characters? Levels and content structure. How are levels or missions laid out? Art and audio guidelines. What are your stylistic anchors? Technical requirements. Engine, platforms, tools, integrations. Production plan, timeline, budget, hiring needs, outsourcing requirements. The GDD is a living document. It will evolve with your project, but starting it early keeps your team aligned and your scope realistic. Your roadmap forward from idea to execution. Here's a simplified flow from concept to execution. One sheet summarizes your vision. Pitch deck expands your vision into an engaging story for stakeholders. Game design document details how the vision will be executed. Production plan defines timelines, resources, team, and budget. Vertical slice or prototype proves the concept through actual gameplay. Milestone builds. Iteratively develop and refine your product. Launch and postmortem. Ship your game, then reflect, learn, and repeat. Each step builds upon the last. Each step provides more depth, clarity, and alignment for your team and partners. Actionable steps to build strong pitch materials. Let's break this down into clear, repeatable actions. Step 1. Build your one sheet. Start with a Google Doc or PDF. Write your game's title and 1 to 2 sentence pitch. Add a short overview paragraph. Bullet out your 3 to 6 key features. If available, add one visual, concept art, screenshot, or logo. Save it as a PDF with your game's name clearly in the file name. Step 2. Draft your pitch deck. Create a 10 to 15 slide presentation. Map each element of your one sheet into a slide format. Add art direction and visual examples to support your storytelling. Include a slide introducing your team or your background if solo. Practice presenting it out loud in under 10 minutes. Step 3. Build a living GDD. Use Notion, Google Docs, or a tool like Hack and Plan or Craft Docs. Turn every feature into a breakdown, how it works, why it matters. Document your core loop and progression systems in clear language. Add placeholders for levels, UI, story arcs, and technical decisions. Step 4. Start a basic production plan. Use a spreadsheet or a tool like Trello, ClickUp, or Airtable. Map the next 3 to 6 months by high-level tasks, prototyping, concept art, narrative beats, etc. Identify bottlenecks early. If you need collaborators or funding, highlight those dependencies. Step 5. Build and test a vertical slice. Pick one core feature and one area of your game to implement. Keep the scope tight. This is proof of concept, not a full level. Use a vertical slice to test mechanics, mood, UI, and pipelines. Gather feedback, then iterate. Each of these steps helps reduce ambiguity, aligns collaborators, and demonstrates value to potential partners or funders. How publishers, investors, and collaborators evaluate pitches. Understanding what your audience is looking for can improve your pitch materials dramatically. Here's what different stakeholders typically want to see. Publishers. Compelling hook and genre fit. Market potential and target audience. Proof that the game is fun through prototype or vertical slice. Timeline and production reality. Team reliability. Investors. Clear vision and differentiation. Business model. Premium, free-to-play, hybrid. Studio experience and execution history. Risk mitigation. Backup plans, production buffers. Collaborators. Clarity of the project direction. Documentation and expectations. Communication tools and project management structure. Projected timeline and scope. Tailoring your pitch slightly for different audiences shows awareness and respect. It also increases your chance of building trust and getting the yes you need. Common mistakes to avoid in game pitches. Too much detail too soon. Save the minutia for the GDD. Your deck should sell the fantasy and feasibility. No clear hook. If you can't explain what makes your game unique in one sentence, refine it until you can. Overpromising. Scope is the graveyard of great games. Be honest about your timeline and budget. Lack of art or visuals. Even simple concept art helps. Don't pitch a game without a mood board or a key image. Ignoring your audience. Customize your materials for who's reading them. Investors want ROI, publishers want genre fit and deliverability, peers want clarity. Keep going. Iteration and feedback loops. Your one sheet and pitch deck are not static. They should evolve as your project does. After every pitch, revisit your deck and refine it based on feedback. Keep a folder of alternate slides and visuals so you can tailor decks to specific meetings. Document pitch feedback and questions. They show where you're unclear or over-explaining. Final thoughts. Make the pitch part of the process. Pitching isn't a one-off activity. It's part of the creative lifestyle. It helps you refine your ideas, align your team, and secure the support you need to bring your game to life. If you treat your pitch as a living tool, not a hurdle, you'll find it brings unexpected clarity to your game's identity, timeline, and purpose. Whether you're sending a one-sheet cold to a publisher, walking into a VC meeting with a polished deck, or kicking off your first internal meeting, great pitch materials are your leverage, your confidence, and your compass. All right, and that's this week's episode of the Press Start Leadership Podcast. Thanks for listening, and as always, thanks for being awesome. Oh, hi. And the episode's over, but thanks for sticking around till the end. Be sure to check out more episodes in the playlist and new episodes every week on Monday. Follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. Don't forget to leave a review. Thanks again for being awesome.